Kendall Smiley, freshman left fielder, team leader in batting average at .425, goes after the first pitch. An easy play for Christina Hartley. One pitch, one out to start today's twin bill.
And some different additions, too, for Florida State in the infield. You see Christina Hartley right there coming in at short. You can see her all throughout the infield, short, second, and third.
You get a look at the Hornet lineup. Kendall Smiley, team leader in batting average, retired quickly to open things up. Another first pitch swing. Jada Gardner hits it foul. Well, Alabama State, very impressive what the Bats were able to do over Mississippi Valley State at home last weekend. 33 runs in the 3-game sweep of the Delta Devils. Preseason favorite in the SWAC's East Division. Right now sitting in 4th place. Florida A&M here in Tallahassee. Top team in the SWAC East. That is a foul ball. Jimmy Cranford is calling the balls and strikes here in game 1 with Michael Stewart at first. Craig Hyde is the third base umpire. Another chance for Hartley, and she can't handle this one. It popped out of her glove. And a one-out base runner for Alabama State in the top of the first.
That's what Alabama State is going to try and do. You see them, some of them as slap hitters, and they just want to cause chaos on the base pass. Here's another look. Jada Gardner slaps it, bounces right over Mimi Gooden, and Hartley trying to charge in, just not able to field the ball cleanly.
Hartley charged with the early error as Brooke Ramsey comes up empty on her first swing. Starting third baseman for Alabama State, hitting .294. 5 doubles, 2 triples, 21 batted in. Not a club that hits for a lot of power, but one of the quickest teams in the country. A slow bouncer to third. This is anything but an easy play, and down the line it goes. It hits off of Gardner. Ramsey will get to second. And Alabama State on a couple of fielding miscues. That will be ruled an error. They've set themselves up with runners at second and third and just one out.
That's what Alabama State will do. It's a great job from Jada Gardner. Heads up, getting all the way to third. And you see Ramsey was able to advance to second. Jason E. Beecham coming in, trying to make the play. Might have actually hit off of Ramsey. She's running down the line.
For the crowd here at Joanne Graff Field. And nothing changes. Call on the field stance.
I think that just goes right to your point, Chris. Not really much that Brooke Ramsey could do running down the line. Really just where the throw guided Ross's glove. Lady Hornets with 2 in scoring position.
This is the cleanup hitter, Kelsey Long, the DP for Alabama State. 3 soft ground balls. Kendall Smiley, the lone out here in the top of the first. And consecutive errors on the Florida State infield have set up the Hornets with 2 in scoring position and 1 down. That's in there for a called strike. 15th start of the season for Kelsey Long. 13 hits and 40 at-bats. Couple triples, 9 RBIs. Sophomore from Columbus, Georgia. 1-2.
That's what Mimi Gooden needs right there. Coming back with a little bit more velo, getting some swings and misses. Trying to build up her confidence early in this one. And this is where she loves to use that changeup and off speed in these counts.
That one runs inside. Gooden's first appearance in the circle since April 6th. When she struggled against Louisville, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, did not record an out. Last non-conference appearance in the second against McNeese, 2/3 of an inning, and did not allow a base runner. Half swing. And a belated appeal. She went around. I think everybody was waiting for Jimmy Cranford to point somewhere for some help. And with no umpire down the first base line, Craig Hyde makes that call behind the bag at third, and it's a huge second out for Florida State.
There's a look. Yep, that's a good call down the line. Just went around. Big strikeout for Mimi Gooden. And you talk about it too, Chris. The game before McNeese for Mimi Gooden going up against NC State, went 3 1/3, only allowing 3 hits and a couple of strikeouts in there. That was one of her better performances of the season. And that's what Coach Lonnie Alameda has seen. You've seen the flashes from the freshman. Just has to put it all together for a full outing.
Elena Scott will try and come through here with 2 outs. But she quickly falls behind 0-2. Sophomore shortstop for Alabama State, .224 batting average. 4 doubles, 2 home runs, leads the club with 28 batted in. And 2 hits, 3 RBIs over the weekend. On a couple bounces, Amaya Ross takes it to the bag, and Florida State. Charity Bibbs 9-11 on the season, 3.88 earned run average. Opponents hitting .266. Soft pop-up, and Elena Scott catches it. 2 outs.
A little bit of the same back-to-back, just Mudge and Beecham both getting a little bit underneath that one, getting up in the air, and take a look at Bibbs' numbers on the season.
Well, Bibbs is back home now, the Birmingham, Alabama native. As you mentioned, couple years in junior college at Chipola. A little over an hour from here in Tallahassee. Kaylee Harding takes the first pitch on the outside for a called strike. Harding, the DP this afternoon, .358 batting average. Leads the club in doubles with 12. Also leads them in homers and RBIs. 10 big flies, 49 batted in. On one bounce, bobbled by Ramsey. High throw. Down the line it goes, and Harding will stay put and reach with 2 outs in the first.
Charging in from right field was Alexia Denby, able to cover that ball. Harding looking up, seeing if she can extend that over to second. Another look at this play. Ramsey at third base. Just popped out, able to keep it in front of her. Throw just got a little bit away.
Kennedy Harp out of the cleanup spot will have a chance to bat here in the first. So Ramsey charged with the error, allowing the inning to continue. Florida State committed 2 errors on the infield in the top of the first inning, but Alabama State stranded 2 in scoring position. Inside as Harding takes off and swipes second base. Just her second steal of the season. Taking a page out of Alabama State's playbook.
Yeah, right there. You don't see her do that too often. Didn't even really get the best jump. And it looked like a pretty good throw behind the dish. Just pops out of the glove, and Harding's able to notch a stolen base.
65th stolen base of the season for Florida State as a team. That's off the inside, 3-0 on Harp. Issa Torres would be next.
Keeping with the theme of freshmen, Kennedy Harp, another one really starting to come along strong now as she's getting more opportunities as this season has progressed, and she's another that can really change the game with just one swing of the bat.
Taking all the way, it's a 4-pitch walk. So 2 straight have reached with 2 outs in the home half of the first. And some traffic on the bases for Issa Torres. Florida State's shortstop, another freshman. .378 batting average. 11 doubles, 4 homers, 29 RBIs. Now to Georgetown in Texas. Fly ball, left center field. Smiley won't get there, it's over her head. Harding scores. Harp is right behind her. It's a 2-run double for Torres. And the Seminoles strike early.
Florida State all year has been so good hitting. We talk about the offense, but with 2 outs, they've been so effective of being able to bring in runs. Issa Torres wastes no time on this first pitch, rips it into the opposite field, into the gap, able to score 2.
Her 12th double ties her with Kaylee Harding for the team lead. Amaya Ross shoots it foul. RBIs 30 and 31 for Torres. Part of a very impressive recruiting class that the Seminoles put together after their runner-up finish last year. Ross, the junior from Jacksonville. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hitting .330 with 5 triples, 8 home runs, 27 RBIs. Has hit safely in 4 straight. Two and 1. Ross is one of Florida State's most improved players. .220 her first couple seasons. Batting average at .330 coming into this one. More RBIs this year than the previous 2 combined.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the craziest thing about it. Just shows the work that she has put in this season. You mentioned the 4-game hit streak. She was struggling a little bit in between, was without a hit in 7 games, and is starting to get back to that form that we saw early on in the season from Amaya. But another explosive player and someone that can really stretch it.
We're 2 outs with nobody on. An error opened the door. Since then, a walk and a 2-run double. Now a 3-1 to Ross. Full count.
Nice from Bibbs, too. Jam it inside. Changing planes. Gets Ross to swing underneath.
Haley Wakecaser in the on-deck circle. Here's a payoff from Bibbs. Off-speed pitch, hit in the air to shallow center field. Boykin into a slide, can't get there. Torres scores as Ross digs for third, and she's in there with an RBI triple. Her team leading 6th 3-bagger of the year. And it's a 3 spot, not even through a full season here in 2024. Haley Wakecaser, the 7th Seminole to bat in the bottom of the 1st inning. Wakecaser getting the start in right field today. .282 batting average, 6 homers, 24 batted in. Two and 0 on Hallie Wakecaser. Redshirt junior from Centerton in Arkansas. Spent all 4 of her college seasons here in Tallahassee. Uh, 2-0. Maddie Fry would be next. Florida State winners of 5 straight, just swept Notre Dame here over the weekend. 21-5 here at Joanne Graff Field this season. Green light on 3-0. It's a foul ball.
Hallie Wakecaser is another Seminole that's got sneaky pop in her bat. Already more home runs for her this season than her first 2 years combined. In and out of the lineup this year, but has produced when she's had the opportunity.
Second walk of the inning. Things starting to unravel for Charity Bibbs. None of these runs earned. Maddie Fry, the 8th Seminole to step into the batter's box in this first inning. Again, this is the first game of a doubleheader. This was originally scheduled to just be a single midweek game, but 2 coaches got on the phone a few weeks ago and said, hey, we've both lost games this season. Let's play 2. Fry takes a strike as Wakecaser takes second base without a throw.
Smart not to make that throw, too. Thought about it. Ross would have probably wanted to take off.
Now base hit to the outfield. Could bring home a couple more. Fry earning her 5th start of the season today. 3 hits and 12 at-bats with a double and 4 RBIs. 2 for 3, had 3 RBIs over the weekend against Fighting Irish pitching. One. Popped up. Scott, the shortstop, onto the outfield grass, squeezes a much-needed
group. They have the potential. They just have to find it.
Alexia Denby leads off the Alabama State half of the second. With more on Alabama State and their head coach, Todd Bradley, we say hello to Alex Rivero.
Hello, right back to you, Chris. Yeah, yesterday talking to head coach, he was telling us that what can allow us to reach that consistency is to be uncommon. That is a consistent phrase that he's been telling his girls all season and through the preseason as well. He said it's so easy for people to just go with the flow and believe what they see on social media, in person, and in real life, but it's being uncommon and taking those steps to step out of the box and be uncomfortable that allows them to perform in these high-profile games. Back to you guys.
Yeah, they were just at Georgia Tech last week in Atlanta for a midweek contest against the Yellow Jackets. It says the mantra of his program is to play hard every day, and as cliche as that sounds, his program's been able to execute that in his almost half-decade at the helm.
Oh, no doubt, and I love that he said that, and they're not going to step down to any challenge. That's exactly what he told us. No matter what the opponent, who the opponent, they're just going to go out and get after it every single game.
Denby goes down swinging. Second strikeout for Mimi Gooden, who picked up her defense after they committed back-to-back one-out errors in the first inning. Leah Richardson is hit by a pitch. Richardson, the junior first baseman, plunked for a second time this season. And Bama State has a one-out base runner in the second.
Yeah, that one just got away from Mimi Gooden. Trying to keep it inside, and gets Richardson right on that front leg.
Get a pinch runner here for Alabama State. Alora Beverly, freshman reserve outfielder, will take the place of Leah Richardson. So without the benefit of a base hit, Alabama State, they've had a few base runners through the first 7 batters here against Mimi Gooden. Stranded runners at second and third in the top of the first inning before Florida State scored 3 times in their half of the first. 1 on 1 out for the catcher, Lauren Marr. Remember, Alabama State, you have to keep track of these Hornets on the bases. They rank 7th in the country with 104 stolen bases in 122 attempts. Bunt attempt goes foul. Marr, the senior catcher, starting her 18th game. 264 batting average. Double, a triple, 4 RBIs. Just a day trip for Alabama State. Left home in Montgomery this morning. About a 3.5-hour drive, 210 miles from Montgomery to Tallahassee. There's a bunt. Back to Gooden. And the underhand flip with the second baseman Hartley covering. 2 outs.
It's really what Alabama State is going to try and do, though. Just apply pressure any way they can, able to get a base runner on board, and you're making it interesting for Maddie Fry behind the dish, whether you're going to steal or not, and then able to lay down a bunt and advance the runner here. 2 outs, and Janiyah Boykin will try and make something happen.
Ball 1 to Janiyah Boykin, the center fielder. Should mention that the back-to-back Conference Player of the Year in the SWAC, Kendall DeRamus, did not travel with the team today. She is usually the everyday starter in center field. DeRamus is in a doctorate program. Had 4 classes today. Focus for Alabama State is on conference play, and so Todd Bradley, who spoke very highly of DeRamus and what she's been able to do on and off the field. It sounds like she might be even better in the classroom, and we're talking about one of the best players in the history of Alabama State softball.
Oh yeah, you love the way that head coach talked about her, and you usually are seeing Kendall and Kendall at the top of the lineup. Recruited Kendall with the hopes or with the thought that Kendall may be gone and graduate. Instead, now she's getting her in PhD, and it's really, really cool to see the work she's putting in the classroom, but also even if she has to miss a practice, she's still going and getting the work in.
Yeah, well said. In this transfer portal era for Alabama State to hold on to the back-to-back conference player of the year says something about Kendall DeRamus and where her focus is. 3-1, and Boykin rolls it to first. Tough play for Rush. She won't win the race. Rounding third and putting on the brakes is the freshman Alora Beverly. First hit for Alabama State, an infield single for the speedy Boykin.
Showing off the wheels right there. My Ross is quick herself too, coming in for the ball, but Boykin slaps it down the line and able to just beat out Ross, and now runners on the corners.
Kendall Smiley saw just one pitch, rolled out to second, leading off the game. Sees one pitch here and delivers a run-scoring base hit to right. Her 20th RBI, and Alabama State gets one back.
Well, that's why she's one of the best freshmen in the country, is Smiley. How about that hit from the freshman?
Yeah, she has seen two pitches, and she got one she liked there.
How about that, going up to get it and just slap it into right field, score a run.
Now foul ball slicing out of play off the bat of Jada Gardner, who reached on one of the two seminal errors back in the first inning. Really good speed out there for Bama State. Have to watch out for a potential double steal, even with the left-hand batter up there. Popped up, short left, on comes Mudge for out number 3. But team in the country. Well, Christina Hartley starting just her second game of the season here this afternoon. 1 for 10, leads off the Florida State second and takes upstairs facing Charity Bibbs. Hartley, the junior from St. Petersburg. At 346 across 26 at-bats, 21 starts last year. Two 2-0 on Hartley. There's Lonnie Alameda, 6-time ACC Coach of the Year. Hall of Famer. Has led Florida State to the Women's College World Series 5 times in her tenure. Won the whole thing back in 2018.
She's starting to do what she does so well, getting her team to click on all cylinders at the right time of the year.
Back to Bibbs, who goes to the backhand to stab at it and throws out Hartley. Pitchers spend more time than you'd think working on what they call PFPs, pitcher fielding practice. It's probably what they work on the most outside of sharpening their arsenals in the offseason. It's much more than fielding ground balls. It's getting to first base quickly to cover in case needed, and also backing up bases, backing up home plate if there's runners circling around the infield.
I've already seen a couple of those plays this game already. But Bibbs is starting to settle in a little bit more now. Again, some unearned runs back in the first, and she's looking good so far. Just unfortunate for a few errors. Brought in some runs.
Kaylee Mudge popped out to the catcher, Lauren Marr, in foul territory back in the first inning. Senior from Winter Springs, was second team all-conference last year. Had 7 hits in the 3-game series against Notre Dame. This is Florida State's 3rd game against a SWAC opponent this season. Won a couple times against Florida A&M here in Tallahassee back in February. Finale of a 5-game homestand. I guess our second game would be the finale. Seminoles embarking on a 4-game road trip to Boston College for 3 this weekend. Then the Sunshine State Showdown against the Florida Gators a week from tonight. Should be a good test. Two to Mudge. Inside, it hits her. Gets away from Bibbs. Kaylee Mudge is hit by a pitch for the second time this year.
Just the pitch before that, it was great from Bibbs to find the outside corner. Now trying to come back inside and just overcooks it. Beams Mudge, and she'll take first.
One on, one out for Jasony Beecham. Beecham was the 14th best prospect in the last recruiting class. Has hit safely in 5 straight at 5 hits, 5 RBIs against Notre Dame here last weekend. 3-game sweep, including a run rule win in the finale. 2-0. Three balls, no strikes on Beecham. With more on the freshman from Tallahassee, we check in with Alex Rivero.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, what's so impressive about Jasony Beecham is the fact that she doesn't really play like a freshman. And it has all to do to the fact that these nerves feel so controlled because this atmosphere is so familiar to her. She said that she grew up coming to these Florida State games, sitting in the stands and gushing over all of the Florida State players. And now that's the fact that she's one of those Florida State players just makes it feel like a full circle moment. Back to you guys.
Foul by an eyelash as she pulled the trigger on 3-0. Good stuff, Alex. Always important for Florida State athletic programs to keep the local talent here. We've seen that with Link Jarrett in his second season guiding Florida State baseball. A lot more Tallahassee flavor on the roster, and you get the same thing here with Lonnie Alameda's program.
Oh yeah, she almost had another one of those moments down the line, just foul, but I mean, Alex said it best. She's just so even keel. You watch her at the plate, you just wouldn't know.
Belted left center field and on its way to Panama City. Ninth home run for the freshman Beecham.
Well, you want to talk about hitting the ball far. That just crossed the road. Jasony Beecham goes up, gets it. And Bibbs knew it right off the bat, as well did the freshman. A no-doubter.
Florida State's 62nd home run as a team. And Beecham knocks in RBIs 43 and 44. Her phenomenal first college campaign continues. Kaylee Harding sends it foul. Harding reached on an error with 2 outs in the first, and that opened the floodgates for Florida State. The next 4 reached, and the Seminoles wound up striking for 3 runs.
You saw the ball retrieved out there. Again, had to go all the way across the street to pick it up.
It landed?
I guess not.
I didn't think it landed yet.
No, I wasn't sure.
A tape measure shot. Honestly, fortunate that the cars that were going by on the street out there weren't in the way of that one. I think Ramsey should have tried to see if that ball would kick in time through the order, finding herself in some trouble against Florida State. Kennedy Harp out of the cleanup spot, worked a 4-pitch walk her first time.
Oh, Chris, we're playing the Alabama State, the Lady Hornets. Look at this little guy right here in our booth.
Oh, that's not very fun. going to say nothing but nice things about Hornets and Wasps and whatever that is.
We're just staring it down right now. It's a dangerous game. It looks just like that.
Except I wish this one was cartoon in the booth with us. 3-0 on Harp, who has not seen a strike. Green light on 3-0 into left center field, but it hangs up for Smiley. 2 outs. I'm from California. They don't make the bugs this big out there.
Yes, it's just a little bit different.
Of course, we're talking about something nobody else could see.
No, no.
We could be making it up for
We very
for
well
all
could.
they know. Asa Torres doubled home 2 back in the first inning. Torres was the 9th best recruit in the 2023 class, according to Extra Innings Softball.
Got another freshman that's so good at finding the gaps. You saw it earlier with a double. 2 out hittings where Florida State's been really effective this season.
This one's in the air to left field. Smiley reaches up and makes the catch.
You can just tell that this team is different. That's the repetition that they've kept on telling me. This team is so different, Alex. It's because everyone knows their position and how to execute at it. And no matter what position they're at, they're also supporting each other. Back to you guys.
Well, good stuff, Alex. Florida State winners in 13 of their last 14 coming in. They commanding 5-1 lead through 2 innings here. 5 appearances in Oklahoma City, that 2018 title, and they were the runner-up against the Oklahoma Sooners last year. 7 ACC regular season crowns, 9 tournament championships, and this is kind of officially the stretch run of the college softball season. Conference tournament less than a month away, and Lonnie has to be happy with the strides that this group has made the last few weeks.
Oh, no doubt. And this is where Lonnie Alameda really starts to get cooking and gets her team playing to the best of their abilities, and you're starting to see it in the last 14 games.
3rd strikeout for Mimi Gooden as she gets Brooke Ramsey swinging to open the 3rd.
And with Mimi Gooden, too, really starting to get some more confidence in the circle, mixing up that off speed with some more velo. There's the drop ball right down and swinging right underneath it.
Kelsey Long, the cleanup hitter, swings through the first pitch. She was the strikeout victim her first time. Batting average way up from below 200 last season. Came into this game hitting north of 300. Is that the thing up there?
That's him.
That's him.
You reacted pretty fast right there.
Well, see if we can get him out of here.
Yeah, he's friendly. He's just hanging out.
Can't be too happy at the scoreboard.
No.
Use my scorebook to protect myself.
That's a decent weapon.
Enough pages in here. You can tell I'm not from around these parts. Yeah, we'll open the door for that guy. 3-1 here on Kelsey Long, and she takes a called strike on the outside. Full count.
Oh, well, Chris is ready to my side, by the way.
I'm in ready position down here.
Yeah, he's got the scorebook ready if that Hornet takes a dive bomb.
Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Mimi Gooden.
Again, Mimi Gooden looking good right now. Comes up high in the zone. Just that mix of pitches is so deadly from the freshman. Especially, you love to see this after her last 2 appearances. She's coming out and she's commanding in the circle.
2 gone for Elena Scott.
Yep.
Went around on the rise ball. Scott, the sophomore from Helena in Alabama.
Come on, Mimi, you got it. There we go. Look at it. You are defense. Finish off, Mimi. Finish it.
2-strike pitch. Scott, who leads the club in RBIs this year, had a .327 batting average showing as a true freshman last season. Alabama State won 30 games, went 17-7 in conference last year. They were the East Division champs in the SWAC last season before they fell short in the conference tournament. Just a few years removed from their most recent regional berth. Been to the regionals 3 times in the history of the program. All of them in the last decade, twice under current head coach Todd Bradley. Runs up inside and hits Scott. Second hit batter for Mimi Gooden. 2-out base runner for Alabama State. They in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, another one from Gooden that just gets away and it's up into Scott's hands. And this is a good moment for the freshman. You strike out the first 2 batters of the inning and you're ahead 0-2. Now you hit a batter, you got a base runner on. Be present in the moment, lock back in and see if you can get at it.
Alexia Denby was a strikeout victim her first time in the 2nd. Junior from Murrieta in Southern California. And a big sophomore season, .299. Alabama State, Florida State. Strange finish to the top of the 3rd inning after a Denby foul ball with Elena Scott at first base. Jimmy Cranford, the home plate umpire, pointed down to first, and Florida State started walking off the field. Freshman replaces the junior Charity Bibbs, who pitched 2 innings, was only charged with 2 earned runs. Poussin, the Sunshine State native from Tampa.
One thing I love that Todd Bradley told us too about his entire pitching staff is just how different they are and how it makes it so difficult for hitters. You're getting these different looks, and for Poussin, you're thinking, you know, she can mix up her pitches as well. You'll see her in the upper 50s, going to mess around with a curveball, rise, and a changeup.
Slow off-speed pitch, and she strikes out Amaya Ross. Almost as if she hit the pause button as that one was on its way into the glove of Lauren Marr.
And listen, she's coming off of one of her best outings of the year over the weekend versus Mississippi Valley State. You know, it went 5 innings pitched, and look at the emotion after that, too, to come in and have that right on your first batter face. What you love to see.
Hallie Waycaser walked her only time. Poussin trying to have a better showing in an ACC park, gave up 6 runs in an inning at Georgia Tech last week. On one bounce, Brooke Ramsey snaps the throw across, 2 outs. Poussin registered her first career save here in Tallahassee a couple weeks ago in a 9-7 win over Florida A&M. Out of Robinson High School. 0-1 on Maddie Fry. The catcher popped out her only time. Seminoles struck for 3 in the first, 2 more in the second. Fry, the sophomore from Lutz, Florida. In on the hands, hit well to left field. Smiley twisting around to the wall, and it's in and out of her glove. Fry stops at second. Tough play for Smiley, drifting back, trying to feel for the wall, and wound up getting some leather on it, just couldn't squeeze it.
Just underneath from Maddie Fry. That was about to be her first career home run. You heard the pop off the bat, backing up Smiley, and as you said, Chris, that was inches away from getting over the wall, but Fry's been great over the past couple of games, stepping in for Michaela Edenfield, and another player that's versatile, can play, can run, and you see the hitting right there.
Second double of the season for Fry as Hartley swings through the first one. Hartley send a bouncer back to the circle, leading off the second. Chance to come on through here and extend this lead for Florida State. Estimating about a half an hour or so between the 2 games in this scheduled doubleheader today. That's high and tight, 2-1. They're guesstimating 6 o'clock Eastern. I think a lot of that hinges on if we play a full 7 here. Off-speed pitch upstairs. It's 3-1 with Kaylee Mudge in the top of the order waiting after Hartley.
Oh, and they couldn't believe that. Now Maurer will come out and have a convo in the circle. Obviously, Poussin just coming into the game, trying to still figure out the zone from home plate umpire Jimmy Cranford. And just that's right at the belt buckle. They thought maybe that's going to be in. Obviously, as a pitcher, you want that one. A quick conversation with her catcher and figure some things out for this 3-1.
Good hitters count for Hartley in search of her second hit this season. Instead, it's ball 4. So Poussin didn't have any trouble getting the first 2 outs of the inning, but a 2-out double now, a 2-out walk. We'll put 2 on with 2 out for Kaylee Mudge, who was hit by a pitch, came around to score on the Beecham 2-run blast last inning.
Talk about a hot bat right now, too. Kaylee Mudge at the top of the lineup. She's been exceptional her last couple of games. 5 of the last 7, actually, have been multi-hit games for Kaylee.
Kaylee Mudge, the record holder for hits in a single Women's College World Series with 14. Did that back in 2021. Mudge lifts it to shallow left. On comes Smiley. She'll squeeze this one. Plate with a couple strikes last inning will lead off the 4th. And on a first pitch swing, it's handled by Jasony Beecham. An efficient start to the 4th for the freshman.
That's what you get with Mimi Gooden with that drop ball. She's going to roll her infield, a lot of ground balls and plays right behind her. But that is one of the big things, too. You know, she's coming in so many different parts of the game. You've seen her start here today. She's closed. She's relieved in the middle of games. And that's something the freshman has to get used to in coming into those different spots.
Leah Richardson, and that's a hit. Kennedy Harper went into a slide and could not hold on to the softball as it wiggled out of her glove. And Richardson aboard for a second time today.
Good effort in center from Kennedy Harp. She knows it. Oh, I thought I had it. Just charging in, trying to make that play, and almost had the glove underneath. Here's a really good look. That's flipped over and lost the ball.
1 on, 1 out. Marr rolls it to second. They flip to short for 1, and the relay throw not in time. So Marr reaches on the fielder's choice. Some early hacks here for Alabama State against Mimi Gooden in the 4th inning. And here comes Janiyah Boykin. There have been 3 pitches and 3 swings, 3 balls put in play. This is the 4th pitch of the inning against the 4th hitter of the inning. And a first pitch swing from Boykin. That's been the approach from Alabama State.
Yeah, a little bit of a change now, trying to be more aggressive, on those first couple of pitches and not let Gooden get ahead in the count where she's way more comfortable.
Boykin legged out an infield base hit on a slow roller to first base. Was back in the second, and Kendall Smiley, who's on deck, followed with a run-scoring single. 1 run on 3 hits for Bama State. 5 runs on 5 hits for the Seminoles.
That was impressive before, too, Chris, from Boykin. He thought it would have just been a routine ground ball to first. Instead, just beats it out down the line. Able to get a single and flip the order over. Trying to do the same thing here.
2-strike pitch, swung on and missed. Maddie Fry can't find it. And Jimmy Cranford, the home plate umpire, got in the way there. And Boykin will reach on a dropped 3rd strike.
Well, not something you see every day. Now, I don't know if Jimmy Cranford wasn't in the way, if they're still able to make this blow, but you see this right here. Cranford's just trying to get out of the way, and
that's the funny thing, right? The umpires are part of the play. They're part of the playing field here as Smiley takes upstairs. Cranford, like a goalie on a penalty kick, tried to guess the right way to get out of the way there for Maddie Fry, but she went the same way he did in that split second. Enough for Boykin to race down to first. Smiley hits it foul. Smiley had only seen 2 pitches in her first 2 at-bats. A ground out to open the game before an RBI single to right field back in the second. 3rd among freshmen in college softball in batting average. Hits in 9 of her last 10 games. Out in front of that one. Snap throw back to second. Close play. And Marr gets in there safely.
that was close at second. Good job from Marr to get back, and Fry heads up.
Smiley has only struck out 13 times in 136 at-bats this year. 2-2. Big bats coming up for Florida State in the home half of the 4th. Beecham, Harding, and Harp, 2, 3, and 4. There's Gooden's 2-2. Popped up. And a shortstop, Torres, calling for it. And on to the view.
Always. That's how it works.
Almost as routine as a player making a terrific defensive play for a 3rd out, then leading off the next half inning.
Yep.
It's just like clockwork. So Williams takes over for Ramsey. Everything else remains the same defensively for Bama State. Kaylee Harding, been on twice. Reached on an error her first time. Infield base hit in the second. 3-time All-ACC selection. It is drifting into the dugout. Yeah, let's get a new one. Three and one on Harding with Kennedy Harp, the cleanup hitter, on deck. 15-game reached base safely streak. Hits in 13 of those games. Low and in. And she's on base again.
What she does, and she's even batting over 400 since conference play has started for Florida State. But she's not putting in play. Still able to get down to first is Kaylee Harding.
Harding will be replaced by a pinch runner. Kennedy Harp was scheduled and will bat here for Florida State. That is Autumn Belvie, rather. So Belvie, the pinch runner at first, takes over for Kaylee Harding. Harp, line to third. It finds the new third baseman Williams again, and it's an inning-ending 5-3 double play. Welcome to the strong 4 innings from Gooden, and now Royalty will try and piggyback off of that. Jada Gardner steps in to lead off the Hornet half of the 5th. Gardner reached on an error in the first before a flyout last time in the second. Senior from Pike Road in Alabama. Towards the middle and through. Leadoff single opens the 5th for Bama State. And the 4th hit for the Hornets tonight.
Alabama State's a good spot right here. You're getting into the heart of your order and facing off versus Allison Royalty. It's been a couple weeks since she's been in live play.
Brooke Ramsey, who was taken over defensively by Elizabeth Williams last half inning, re-enters to hit here. 0 for 2, did reach on an error back in the first. Bama State had a golden opportunity to strike early. Had runners at second and third, 1 out in the first inning, but Mimi Gooden got a big 1-out strikeout and then got Elena Scott on a routine ground ball. One ball, 1 strike on Ramsey, riding a 5-game hitting streak. Knocked in 7 of the 33 runs that the Hornets scored against Mississippi Valley State over the weekend. Tapped foul.
It's pretty crazy too, Chris, when you look at that weekend for Ramsey. That's a third of her RBIs on this season, just in that one series. No better time to start peaking, as we've been saying all game. And right now, and Brooke Ramsey coming in hot.
1-2 pitch lifted in the air towards right. Waycaser charges. 1 out. Ramsey able to drop the elbow there. Gives the scouting report to Elizabeth Williams, who made a couple nice plays defensively in the bottom of the 4th at third base. Williams, the senior from Enterprise in Alabama, 4th season with the program. This is her 94th game in a Hornet uniform. Hitting 200 this year, a career 187 hitter. 333 and 18 at-bats last season. High and tight as Gardner tries to swipe second, and she does. Alabama State 7th in the country in stolen bases, and Jada Gardner has her 22nd.
Best on the team at stealing bases. Pitch a little high, Fry able to get up, but just a little errant on the throw, and for Jada Gardner, that's easy money.
Williams pops it up. Hartley catches it. So 2 outs in the inning. Elena Scott, who leads the team in RBIs, will bat. Reached on a hit by pitch in the 3rd.
Yeah, there's a big thing for Royalty right there, too. You let up the base hit on the first batter, then you come back, and you're able to force 2 pop-ups there. Nothing too loud, and now settle down your first inning back. Try and get 3 outs, especially as we were saying, in the heart of the order, you're facing some of the better batters for Alabama State.
Second season for Allison Royalty at Florida State after 2 years in the desert at Arizona State. Ground ball, base hit, center field. Here comes Gardner. The throw from Hart, not in time. Elena Scott, that's what she does. Her team leading 29th RBI, and it's 5-2.
It's exactly what she does. Almost an RBI for every single hit for Elena this season, but kind of deja vu to the hit to start this inning. Right back up the hole, and Hart trying to make the throw inside, but it's pretty hard to catch Gardner coming around the bases.
So Royalty allows a couple of base hits and an earned run here. Very textbook way for Alabama State to strike for their 2nd run. They get the leadoff single. They swipe second base and cash in with 2 outs. Popped up Alexia Denby into foul territory. Basket catch made by Fry. Right next, Rivero.
Nice to see the true freshman back in the circle, because I was talking to Kawana before the game, and she told me that she's recently come back from a meniscus injury, and she said that since her injury she's had this new mentality of just believing in herself, because she didn't think she was going to be back this season, and the fact that she's in the circle right now with this Power 5 matchup is just leaves her in awe, and she's just so happy to be there. Back to you guys.
And she's done a nice job. 2 scoreless frames. Faced the minimum last inning in a scoreless 4th. Set all sorts of records at Robinson High School. Strikeouts, earned run average, opponent's batting average.
It's good to see her, though, back healthy in the circle, especially right before the season. You know, you get any sort of surgery as an athlete, your brain remembers how you were prior, and you think you're just going to be that when you come back, and sometimes maybe you're not, and those are some of the challenges you have to deal with. And now deep into the season,
as a base hit for Isa Torres, her 2nd today. Leadoff single starts the Seminole half of the 5th. Now Torres, who knocked in 2 with the Seminoles' first hit today back in the 1st inning on a double. Florida State has a leadoff base runner for the first time today. Angeli Bueno is on to pinch run at first for Torres. Or rather, a hit here for Amaya Ross. Ross tripled home a run in the 1st, struck out her last time. Out of the game for now as Bueno gets an opportunity. 4 for 10 this season.
how about sticking with the theme too, Chris? Just freshmen in the circle, freshmen batting, freshmen on first. In the outfield, all over, just making impacts all throughout this game and this season in general.
Now, these are just 2 of about 300 Division I softball programs, but just basing it off of all the talented freshmen on both sides here, the future of the game is
Absolutely.
in really good hands.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about and what this game has become, especially over the last couple of years, and most importantly, where it's going.
Bueno on a 3-0. The opposite way. It one-hops the wall. Torres will put on the brakes on a double off the bat of Bueno. Well, the freshman showing some good poise to go the opposite way. Her first career extra base hit in a Seminole uniform.
Not too bad for the first one. Bring it the opposite field. Able to bring the hands around quickly. Rope it into left and move Torres over to third. And now 2 in scoring position for Holly Waycaser.
Seminoles 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position today. And trying to break through against Poussin, who tossed scoreless frames in the 3rd and 4th. In some trouble here after back-to-back hits. Waycaser walked her first time, a ground out back in the 3rd. 2-0. Waycaser 11 career home runs. 6 of those this season. This is her 27th start, and the Hornet infield will gather together behind the circle, talk about defensive strategy here and the approach on Waycaser with a hitter-friendly count and the open bag at first. BYOS, bring your own seat. The beauty of softball here at Joanne Graff Field. There's not a bad seat in the house.
You gotta love it.
Whether you sit in one of them that stays here.
Even out in the parking garage too.
Yeah.
Right there, you get a view from all over.
A towering fly ball chasing Smiley into foul territory, and it drifts out of play. Well, you stand up on that parking garage beyond the left field fence, and you might catch one off the bat of Jason E. Beach.
Yeah.
Two on to Waycaser. 2-2. A single and a double to open the inning. And now a 2-2. Full count. Back to Poussin. She's got Torres in a rundown. And for whatever reason, they didn't just run her back to the bag, but they do tag her out. And still runners at second and third base, but now one out in the inning, and a heads-up play defensively by the freshman Poussin to catch Torres creeping off the bag at third.
Yeah, we talked about it before. Right back to the pitcher, able to glove it out of the air, and that's kind of to your point, Chris. You can just run to the bag right there instead. Caught in the rundown in the end, able to get Torres, and still the same situation now, just one out.
Maddie Fry doubled her last time in the third. Her second double in 14 at-bats this year. This is Katie Deck instead. So Fry pulled out of the game for Dak. Junior from Parker, Colorado. Second year at Florida State after spending her freshman season at Texas A&M. So Fry finishes 1 for 2 if she doesn't re-enter. Dak off the end of the bat. Elena Scott throws her out. Bueno scores. And it's 6-2. Florida State responds to the Alabama State run in the top of the inning.
Tacking on one more is Florida State. Poussin directing her infield just a bit.
Two away, Christina Hartley. Worked the walk against Poussin back in the third. This would be a nice job to work around further trouble if she can get Hartley here. Florida State had runners at second and third with nobody out. Looked like it could be a big inning for the Seminoles. But instead, a couple of ground outs. Hartley hammers it. Left field. Just foul. Boy, that one sailed way over the pole, and the third base umpire, Craig Hyde, put both hands to the heavens as to say, no home. Popped up. Gardner. Inning over. Seminoles get one. 6-2 Florida.
Team has kind of been about this year. When he was at Campbell, he was telling us they were more home run hitters, and now this team this year not really known for that. They're not putting the ball out of the park, but they're able to create chaos on the base pass. We've seen a couple of examples of that today, and they're still living off those extra base hits and able to steal bases and able to bring home some runs.
Second inning in the circle for the senior Allison Royalty, who allowed a run on a couple of base hits last inning. Leah Richardson's been on twice and takes ball 3. Taking all the way, it's 3-1. Second game of our doubleheader was on the schedule for 6 o'clock Eastern. It'll be a bit later than that. Full half hour in between games. Full count on Richardson, with Marr and Boykin scheduled to follow. Bottom third of the Bama State batting order. Hornets 21-23 this season. Right now, 4th place in the East Division of the SWAC, led by the local Florida A&M Rattlers. Richardson, bouncer to first. One away. That's Bueno down there, who pinch hit last inning.
Florida State shifting some stuff around in the infield, but Royalty starting to come back a little bit into her own now after another inning of work.
Lauren Marr, the catcher, sack bunt her first time. Hit into a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. Officially 0 for 1. Senior from Atoka, Tennessee. 119th game at Alabama State. He was on that regional squad as a freshman back in 2021.
Player that's stuck in this program with Todd Bradley, and you've seen her role every single year increase, and now she's here behind the dish, catching, also out in the outfield, does a little bit of all.
Upstairs, 3-1. Bottom of the order has done some damage today for Alabama State. Richardson out of the 7th spot, been on twice. Boykin on deck, reached on a pivotal infield single that led to the Hornets' first run back in the 2nd. Full count on Lauren Marr. Alabama State 2 runs, 5 hits. Florida State 5 runs through the first 2 innings, but only 1 for the Seminoles since. The freshman Kohana Poussin has silenced the Seminole bats in her 3 innings of relief.
She has been fantastic so far.
Payoff pitch. Up the middle and cut by the shortstop Torres. Nice play ranging to her left. 2 down.
Go up high in the zone, and Torres just shifting over to her left, able to make the grab.
The tally shuffle.
Tally shuffle, I like that. I like that.
Right back to royalty. 1-2-3 inning for the senior. Nothing brings out the best in fans like the Simba cam, and that young lady brought her Simba plush doll. I mean, she took it to another level.
Oh, yeah.
Stop holding your nieces and nephews and you can actually hold Simba.
Or your drink.
Or a drink on a warm Wednesday afternoon. Good crowd on hand as we move into the last half of the 6th inning. Florida State bats got off to a hot start with 5 runs through the first 2 frames. Seminoles have only struck for 1 since. And we'll try and figure out Kohana Pusan with Kaylee Mudge, Jason E. Beecham, and Kaylee Harding scheduled. Mudge 0 for 2 with the hit by pitch. Over 200 career hits for the senior Mudge. Closing in on 100 career RBIs, sitting at 97 coming into action this afternoon. 2-0 on Mudge, and with more on the senior, check in with Alex Rivero.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, talking to Mudge yesterday, she just kept on saying that Joanne Graff is the place. This is the place and this is home. And that's because she just feels so happy, and she says that she plays her best when she's here also. She says that she just can't help but have a smile on her face, so she's just really enjoying this last season, wearing the garnet and gold and playing here at Joanne Graff Field. Back to you guys.
Towering fly ball into right center field, and Boykin calls off Denby at the last moment for the first out. Mudge will have some more at-bats coming her way in game 2, but 0 for 3 in this one.
Again, just need to credit Kohana Pusan. She has done phenomenal in her few innings of work that she's been in, and really picking off right where she left off over the weekend versus Mississippi Valley State. And here she is again. These hot Seminole bats done a great job to limit that hot offense.
Second time she's facing Jason E. Beecham, who lined out to third base her last time in the 4th. Beecham launched the only home run we've seen so far in this game. A mammoth 2-run blast way beyond the left field wall and onto the street out there back in the 2nd. Beecham the other way. There's a base hit. So on 2 strikes, she shortens up her swing, and she's 2 for 4.
How about the 32nd game, obviously, that she's had a hit, but so many multi-hit games for Beecham this season. Pinch runner coming in.
Annie Potter will take over at first base.
Now 21 games for Beecham with multiple hits. Really just, again, impressive for the freshman.
The scary thing for the rest of college softball, she's just getting started.
Oh, yeah.
She's only going to get better. Kaylee Harding, as Pusan knocks it down. Low throw to first. 2 outs. Lindsey Smith has taken over at first base for Bama State.
There it is again. Just a great job. Kohana right there in the circle, just able to bat it down, get it in front of her, and make the throw over. Beat Harding down the line.
Two outs for Kennedy Harp. 0 for 2 with the walk. She lined into an inning-ending double play against Pusan back in the 4th. Freshman from Lawrenceville, Georgia. She was the 10th best recruit in the 2023 class.
She's got 4 home runs so far this season. And Harp's a player Lonnie Alameda really believes down the road. And as this season finishes, will be a very big power kid for them.
Just her 10th start of the season. 4 homers and 43 at-bats. Pretty good power rate. There's a fair ball into the left field corner. RBI double for Kennedy Hart. Her 5th two-bagger of the year, 17th RBI. And she brings in Annie Potter from second base.
And Harp able to get around inside pitch and rips it down the left field line. Scores Potter, and just what Harp does. She's putting the ball in play. She's usually bringing another Seminole home.
There's Issa Torres, who's had a nice day. Couple of hits, including a 2-run double back in the first.
Yours for the taking. What do you say, Green?
High fly ball, deep right field. Denby turns around and watches it go. Two-run shot for Torres. Knowles break it open late.
Issa Torres, 5 games of 3+ hits in the last month alone. Add another today. Single, double, and how about a 2-run home run to go with it? Goes down, gets the hands around, and just demolishes this to right field. And Kawana Poussin was looking so good in the circle, and the Knowles with 2 outs again, able to make something happen.
And finally figure out the freshman who had limited them to 1 run through her first 3 innings. Back-to-back run scoring extra base hits with 2 outs. Angeli Bueno batting for a second time in this game. Pinch hit in the 5th inning and doubled.
Right now, you know that. You say 7.
She can barrel one up here. She'd end it. At her first career
So.
double, all right, last inning. Could be another first here for Bueno.
Give it a ride, 7. Give it a ride.
Issa Torres' 5th home run, giving her 4 RBIs on the day. Flared into shallow left. That's a fair ball. Bueno with the big turnaround first. She will hold with a single. Freshman's 2 for 2 off the bench.
Not a bad day for Angeli. She thought about taking second again. Got her first career double earlier in this one. Check that one, just hits the line, and Bueno will hold up at first. But 2 hits.
Pops out of the glove of Marr, and Bueno advances to scoring position. Now base hit to the outfield could end it.
And just for all interested parties, the Hornet is still in the booth with us.
Well, thanks for reminding me. I got comfortable here. See if we can interest him in some early dinner in between games. Not us.
Not us, please no.
Wade Kaser 0 for 2 with the walk. Line drive, right center field. That will do it. Bueno circles third, and Florida State run rules Alabama State. A 10-2 winner for the Seminoles in game 1.
And right there again, you're just seeing a little